Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Ericson Presents Mixing Tutorials. And today we're going to talk about the Masterdesk by Brainworx. Now, before we get started, I just want you guys to know that if you are looking to get your music professionally mastered, maybe you've never had it mastered before, so you don't know the full potential of what it could really sound like, and you are looking for an opportunity to hear that, go ahead and click my link in the description so that you can find out how you can get a free master of your song. So go ahead, and that link will be in the description down below, and click on it and check out the before and afters and holla at your boy. All right, so anyhow, let's get right to it. So today I am going to pull up this Masterdesk, and I'm going to attempt to just see what I could do with it to get, something sounding good. Would I use this to master someone's song? No, I would not. So I want to say this immediately. I would not use this to master someone's song, mainly because I like more control than this is actually giving me. But when I first got this plugin, I did not know how to master at that particular time. So this actually did help me tremendously to get the music to sound better. So I feel like it's worth bringing up, and it's worth taking a look at and seeing what we can do to get the music to sound good. So let's just do a quick overview of this plugin. So right here we have Compressor Link, which is pretty much linking the left and the right channels together. So you can either say I want the compressor to react the same way on both sides. So if something is louder on the left, it's going to bring down the right as well. Or I want it to be individual. If it's louder on the left, only dip the left and leave the right side alone. Why I would want to do that? For me, I feel like it would give me a more balanced mix when it comes to the end result. But if something is louder on the left or the right, then something in the mix went wrong. That's just me. Unless it was meant to be, something went wrong. So we have limiter turbo, so it's just another level of pushing to get loud. Now, here are your four compression modes. Number one being the most compression. I'm assuming it's the most aggressive compression, and number four being the least aggressive. So yeah, I guess we can play around with these. The Renaissance filters they have picked frequencies that tend to be harsh or tend to need to be cutted in masters. Now, if you watch my last video, I'm not a fan of anything that you can apply to everything, because I feel that every song is different and every song needs a different approach. If none of these four frequencies are a problem, but there are other problem frequencies, I don't think that I could go in and surgically fix it. So perfect example of what I think this can't do is be very surgical. But if you don't have any more surgical problems you need to address, and you just want to get a nice balanced mix to sound better, then this probably would definitely, yeah, you get it. This would be a good choice. Anyways, moving on. This is your output. So obviously you don't want to be at 0.0. Yeah, 0.0. You don't want to be there. You want to be below that. So anywhere negative anything besides 0.0 would be sufficient enough. You have your volume. So this is actually going to cranks the volume into this plugin, or you can look at this as a threshold, pulling the threshold down on the limiter. This is the compressor. How much of the compression that you want? Do you want 86% as the lowest, or which is more like parallel compression, or do you want it to be 100% compression? There's that. de-esser. They have a de-esser on here, so you can go up to 60. That's just how they have it set. The THD, to my understanding, acts harmonics. So we'll play with that. I didn't necessarily hear that when I used to play with it before, so I never really messed with it. But we'll see what's up. Foundation, I think, in my opinion, that this is a tilt EQ. A tilt EQ is, let's see, I'll pull up a tilt EQ for you real quick so you can see what I mean when I say that. Let's see. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Pro Q. All right, so on this Pro 2 Q, we can set this to a tilt shelved. So if we turn it this way, you can see that the low is being dipped and the high is being boosted. And if you go the opposite way, it's the opposite effect. So that is a tilt EQ. Oh, I guess I better turn that off. Okay, so anyways, that's what I believe the foundation is doing. Then you have your basic bass, mid, treble, presence in your tone section. And then the mid-size section, you have the mono maker, which is anything below this number is going to be monoed out, which is always good, especially if you are mastering for vinyl. Definitely want to do that. And then your stereo enhanced. So this is making it more stereo or less stereo. And that's pretty much it. So with all this being said and done, I'm going to play the music through the headphones. So remember, we're through the headphones. So I actually thought about putting a finished mix in here, but then I figured I would just work on the same song I was working on before, just so we can see if we can get it sounding decent. So let's see. I've been on this flow for a long time. Also, dynamic range. So apparently they are recommending that you keep this needle in between 8 and 6. This is their recommendation. So I just wanted to point that out. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack this in the order of the numbers. So they 1 to 2 to 3. And that's how they want us to do it. So let's do it that way. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one. Standing across the room. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one. Standing up. It's pretty loud. I mean, I feel like I'm going all the way up. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. All right, so I'll just dial it back just a little bit, and then I'll turn this down just to compensate for the volume difference, just so it's not just blasting. I've been on this flow for a long time. Okay, cool. So now we turned it all the way up, and it is not blowing up in our face, so that's cool. Let's turn on the compression. I'm going to turn it to 100%. Why I would use 100% compression versus parallel compression is just all depends on the source material. Typically, if you have a master or a final mix that you already can tell that it's already compressed, meaning somebody probably had something on their master bus and they didn't turn it off when they exported it, you then probably wouldn't want to compress again or in the master stage, or you might not want to compress as hard because they didn't turn that off on their master bus. So That would be a reason. There was clearly nothing on this master bus, but the beat probably has some type of compression on it. But once I EQ'd it differently, I actually broke the crest factors. So I actually brought back the transient. So therefore, I'm okay with adding compression. All right, let's get to it. So right now we're on the hardest compression setting. So let's just see how it goes.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon.
Once again, I do apologize that the computer just wants to act up with the screen flow, but that's okay. We gonna still get through it. So what I'm hearing is a little tighter sound. It is getting louder with the compression, and it's also making it feel a little more glued together, and it's giving it a little more life. So I like that. Let's go through all the compression settings just to see which one we like the best.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon.
Now, I'm not 100% sure if you can hear that because it's very subtle. Even with my headphones, I can hear the difference. One is definitely pushing the music forward a lot more. So let's see. It depends on the style of music that you're doing. So if you're doing something aggressive like this, you will probably want something between 1 and 2. If you're doing something, classical, you probably don't want any compression, or 4. Something, a guitar, a vocalist, and like a string guitar, like you might not want as much compression. So it's all about the source and what it is that you're going for. I want a more aggressive sound, so number 1 to me works, and it's working on 100%. Let's turn it down. It's going to get a little more parallel. So if you if the compressor was squashing the transients and making it sound like too compressed, then mixing in the compressor would be the ideal situation. And when I say mix in, anything below 100% is mixing in the compressor. So let's turn it down and see what happens. Just,
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room. I've been on this flow for a long.
Yeah, I like the 100%. Let's link the compressors and see what happens.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room.
So what I heard when the compressors were linked, I heard energy get lost, meaning the panning in the beat is actually working for the energy from the left and the right. When I put the link on the compressor, as you can see the gain reduction, you saw that it started reducing equally as opposed to being heavy on one side.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon.
So what I'm hearing on that left side is I hear a shaker, and that's what's probably being compressed down more. But when I click both of them in, it's actually doing something I don't want it to do. So therefore, we're gonna roll with the compression or the compressor link off. All right, so let's attack the de-esser.
I've been on this flow for a long time.
Have it in solo. There we go. Those S's. Now, if you remember from the last video, all I did was EQ. I didn't compress the vocals, other than when the compressor was on when it went in. But other than that, we are just EQing.
But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the.
All right, let's do it before and after.
I've been on this flow for a long time.
All right, let's see if we can get it close to the level match. See how it goes.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl.
Yeah, okay. I'm liking it so far. Okay, so then now let's look at the foundation and see if I want to just leave that alone. I would recommend to not worry about this if you don't really know what it is that it's doing, or if you mixed it pretty much, is the low end too high or is the low end too low? Or is the high end too high or is the high end too low? It's just one or the other. You're never going to have a whole, I mean, if you have a low end too low and a high end too low, something's going on. Like, that's weird. But this is a tilt EQ, so think of it in those terms. So let's see.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call.
So that boosted the bass and took the high end down. I actually don't want to do that. I want to bring the bass down and bring that high end more up.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room.
Yeah, that's okay. What I want to do, I can't do, because I'm hearing frequencies that I want to actually go in and take care of, but I'm not able to. Let's see. Let's try the resonance filters. I'm gonna solo this, so when I touch it, it's gonna show me the sound that it's taking out.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl.
All right, so yeah, out of these, I didn't like the way this sounded. I didn't actually mind the way this sounded. I didn't like the way this sounded, and I also didn't mind the way this sounded. So that's why I went with those two. And voila. All right, so let's go to the tone section. So now, before you go in here and start touching stuff, you got to think about, what do you want?
I've been on this flow for a long time.
I like presence. I feel the presence is needed. Let's turn up presence and see what happens. Man, this computer does not like ScreenFlow.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call.
Turning the treble up a lot didn't really kill it. Let's turn the bass up. Now, yeah, you're probably saying, well, why would you turn the bass down and turn it back up? Well, I am turning the bass down to get a more balanced sound. Now that I have a more balanced sound, I can add to that balance. That's the whole thought process behind what I just did.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon.
What does the mid do?
I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one.
I mean, the mid is actually not killing it. Okay.
I've been on this flow for a long.
Mono maker. Let's just go ahead and put that, somewhere around here.
I've been on this flow for a long time.
Stereo enhancer.
Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room. I've been on this flow for a long time. It's a tricky slope to do any type of stereo enhancing in headphones. This is stuff that I would rather do on the monitors, but I mean, it is what it is. All right, so let's test out the harmonics section. I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one, standing across the room.
mean, it's very subtle. I can kind of hear, and I don't know if it's my eyes playing tricks on me, but I feel like I can kind of hear it giving just a little more oomph, just a little bit. It's not a lot, but I kind of feel like I'm hearing that.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one.
Okay, it's not sounding bad. All right, let's turn on this limiter turbo to give it just a little more oomph.
I've been on this flow for a long time.
Saw how I just stepped forward just a little bit?
I've been on this.
You saw. Did you hear how I stepped forward just a little bit?
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy
If you're noticing,
girl.
we're killing our dynamics right here. So that means I should probably pull it back now.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one.
All right, so then let's get this back to -0.1. And let's see.
I've been on this flow for a long time. Last call is coming soon. But then I see this sexy girl. She's a bad one. Standing across the room. I've been on this flow for a long time.
I mean, that's not bad. Don't get me wrong. That's definitely not bad at all. It's right around the loudness kind of that I usually shoot for anyway. And I would actually, my masters are maybe just a tad bit louder. But it's up there. What I am not happy with is not being able to balance it just a little better. That would just be, that would be perfect if I could. Now, yeah, this is the Brainworx Masterdesk. Do I think you should get it if you are wondering how to get your music to sound better, but you don't really know what's going on the mastering side? Yeah, this right here would definitely be a go-to plugin. And what's crazy about it is I didn't even use this plugin like as much as I probably should have. But it is what it is. It's a dope plugin. So do I recommend it? Yes, I do. Go ahead and get it. Run a trial version on it if you have UAD. You can see that I was able to get something to sound a lot better. So yeah, other than that, don't forget, if you're looking for a free master, you want to hear some before and afters, go ahead and click the link in the description below and holla at your boy. All right, I will catch you guys in the next video. Deuces.